Hey everybody, it's Brandon, and I have got an pay what you want optional class for Mörk Borg to show you today. I'll have a link down in the description. Of course, it's drivethrurpg, and this is also part of a bigger book that you can also check out that I believe is $6.66 for the PDF. So this is the Sanguine Onomancer. In essence, involves carving into your flesh and knowing the true name of your enemies. So it breaks it down pretty good here. You can see it's definitely got the look of kind of Mörk Borg craziness. It's going to tell you that it's the ability to bend others to one's will through the power of their name. It is an art which requires the sacrifice of flesh and blood. Those who practice it are called Sanguine Onomancers, also referred to as carvers, for the ritual cutting and scarification of others' true names into their own flesh. So, yeah, it kind of breaks it down right there. And then you have empowerment. When a successful presence test is made to activate a ritual of carving, which is kind of like a different type of spell of this ability here, the empowerment die is rolled to determine any random die number value the ritual may be called for. So obviously, the higher, the more strong it's going to be. So you have the class, right? And it's going to begin with a D6. But one thing that's neat about this is that others can learn it too, but their empowerment is only a D3. So they could be taught that from someone else. I think that's pretty neat. And your empowerment may go up and down, usually whenever you get better. Like in the Mörk Borg game, you can choose instead of to advancing something else to get better at, you can get better at this. So very cool. So in order to do it, you have to have a presence DR12 test. And if you make it, you have to spend 1 daily power, and then that die roll of the ritual is equal to the caster's current empowerment die. So you roll that for whatever the ritual calls for. On a crit, you get doubled. On a failure, your scars bleed and you take a damage. And on a fumble, your scars rupture, you take D3 damage. And then you must roll your empowerment die again. On a result of 1, a misery from the calendar of Nitrubel occurs as reality unbinds. So you have these edicts here that must be satisfied. The Onomancer must know at least one of their target's true names. That true name must be carved upon the Onomancer's flesh. The Onomancer must be free of flesh-covering armor, so you cannot wear armor when you use this. To work their arcane will on others, the Onomancer must be able to see into their eyes. That's pretty strong, too. You've got to get right up there and be able to see them. But there's also something called the Revelation, and it allows you to ignore those first two. That's very powerful, and this is going to tell you more about it. So what it is there's more direct methods for an Onomancer to learn a being's true name. Instead of going canvassing the taverns, researching in dusty archives, or consorting with others to try to find out people's true names, you can learn the Revelation. It's a esoteric rite powered by their own blood that allows them to learn the true name of a being before them. So it's activated kind of like a ritual of carving. The name or title revealed by the power of the revelation is at the GM's discretion, but will be one true name of the targeted individual, and thus allow the carver to work their will on the target as the true name is magically carved into the caster's own flesh through the ritual sorcerer's energy. So in essence, you're able to use the revelation to get magically one of the names of the people, so that you can actually use these rituals of carving on them. You roll d6 to learn a new ritual or carving. So there's Cut the Veins. You harm a target with your empowerment die of damage. I think that's Vard's Eye. Receive an instantaneous mental summation of the previous empowerment die number of days the target lived as though looking through their eyes. There's Compulsion. They'll have to answer questions. There's Heated Blood. They go berserk. There's Soothed Soul. They become friendly for a certain amount of rounds. And then you have Crimson Dread. The target must immediately make a morale check, subtract the Onomancer's empowerment roll from their result. And it talks here about carving amidst bloody battle. So instead of having downtimes where you can learn these people's names and carve it into your flesh, you can spin an action and take D2 damage and add a name to an area of exposed flesh while under stress. This is where it tells you about getting better. And what's going to happen is you may try to increase your empowerment. You're going to roll your die, and if it's even, they upgrade it to the next highest die. If it's odd, it goes down to a minimum of D2. So that's very interesting. And then it's going to tell you more about the art, the secret circles of it, the art of carving, and how you can learn it through people. There's kind of a master and a student system here that you're going to work with, and it shows here down at the bottom. So you get the rules to be one. You get the revelation and empowerment of D3, and you roll once on the rituals of carving. To play as an adept, you use the class on the following pages, which is right here. And it's going to tell you that, you know, your body is a nightmare pattern of scarification, covered with the jagged scars of cuts both deep and shallow. The true names were so many of those who have crossed your path, writ upon your flesh. So it's got your toughness, names already carved upon the flesh. I think that's pretty neat. It can be like a known gang of thieves, robbers, and murderers, an infamous warband of remorseless mercenaries. Maybe it's one who will eat the flesh their name is carved upon, the children of the damned, and an elderless village, the name of those who love you or once did. Roll once on the rituals of carving, and your starting empowerment is a d6. Here's how you roll up your abilities. You cannot wear armor, like I said before. And then you get to start the game with one of these 6 things. Soul sense. You can sense when someone is near you if you have their true name upon you. When they are far away, you have a hint of their direction. You've got heart reader. If you bear a target's true name, you can tell when they are lying with a DR8 presence test. You've got hardened scars, which pretty much gives you D2 armor. It's unbreakable against an enemy if you bear the attacker's true name. So that's only going to be against that person's name. It's kind of the same with these ropey veins. Defense rolls are D10 if you bear the attacker's true name. Resilient innards, I like this. Once per day, you can attempt to purge the infection of anyone whose true name is upon your flesh, including yourself, with a DR14 presence check. And then this last one here, you get a +1 bonus to empowerment rolls when activating a ritual carving if you bear more than one of the target's true names. So if you get all their names, you're going to get more and more bonuses. I think that's pretty cool. So that's the last page. It seems like a very neat class for Mörk Borg, and I do like the fact that other classes can get a kind of weaker version of it. So there it is, the Sanguine Onomancer. Hope you've liked this, and thanks a lot.